having me on. And now it is kosher, even on MSNBC with Jim Cramer, to say the Federal Reserve's private, they're ripping us off, they're private central bankers, New World Order, Ron Paul, yes, the gold's been stolen from Fort Knox. I mean, MSNBC, things I was talking about 10, 12 years ago, it's now happening, and that's why people who know my show, know the films I make, I don't just grovel and thank people unless there's a reason. And George Noory is such a classy guy, because most people in talk radio are egomaniacs, myself included, and they would never have another talk show host on. I actually do as well. And so George, this big guy, to literally reach down and to just energize everything I was doing and open so many doors. I just want to tell you that I thank him, and the country and the world should thank him, because now there are kids in Romania and Japan and everywhere else wearing Infowars.com t-shirts, and it's called Supernova. This is the guy right here. He's the fire starter. He lit the keg of TNT that's going to blow the New World Order sky high in the info war.
Oh, what the heck did I do? However, you may kiss my ring, Alex.
All right, there you go.
But we need a watchdog like this in this country, because nobody else is going to do it. They're going to tell you what they want you to think, and they'll keep going on their merry way. I don't agree with everything Alex Jones says. He knows that. But I do agree with his right to say it, and I do agree with his right to investigate it. And honestly, after he says what he says, there's a lot of truth to it. There's a lot of truth to it. He does not make these stories up. He goes and finds them, investigates them. Then he comes up with opinions. But he just doesn't spout off. He doesn't say Building 7 just fell on its own. He goes and investigates and finds out that the owner said,
yeah, we made the decision to pull it and gave the order and watched the building come down, and now I've gone to New York and interviewed the firefighters. You know, there's CNN footage live of the firefighters. It's on YouTube, saying, get back, they're going to bring it down. And I went and interviewed the firefighters and said, yeah, this countdown out of nowhere comes in 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, right down. But so much of what I do is talk about things that were forgotten. You know, we all hear the rumor that Gulf of Tonkin, that got us into Vietnam in 1964, was staged and was a false flag event. Well, it's only rumor because people didn't go find the San Diego Tribune articles from '64 when officers got off the ships and said it was staged. It was never a rumor. There was a congressional investigation. Now they've released the presidential tapes. Now it's been fully declassified that it was staged, and people say, how did you know? It was always there. Really, years ago, he pointed something out to me, I think 3 or 4 years ago, that I hadn't even really thought about myself. What I do is not even that special. I collect, I aggregate. What was the term you used? I go out and I get the info that's fallen through the cracks, and then I put it together in a mosaic.
You're an assembler, and you're a good one.
This is weird up here talking about myself. Let's talk about George and Mark Caesar over here.
No. Let me ask you all a question. By your shouts and screams, 2001, after 9/11, how many of you felt patriotic, and how many of you felt necessary to go into Afghanistan to do what we needed to do? I did. How many did? How many did?
Yeah.
I did.
Yes.
Do you feel as if that mission was accomplished?
No.
Are you disappointed that it wasn't accomplished?
No.
I'm not even worried about bin Laden. Hell, who's he?
It just ain't happened yet.
How many of you feel tricked?
Right here.
That says it all.
Well, I know this. More and more things are coming to light, and it actually scares me because in my wildest dreams, I never imagined that people would be waking up this fast. And like I said on the show last night, I have had a chance to meet retired four-star generals, well-known people that are worth $5, $6, $7 billion. They're moving out of the country. We're going down with the ship. We're going to fight for this country. But even within the elite, a lot of people weren't on board with this whole system, and now they're finding out it really is true. And we're at a crossroads. You know, the big question now here is the New World Order going to get away with what they're doing, or is this awakening taking place going to be enough to short-circuit their operation and back them off? I hope that's the case, but I mean, 3 years ago on the show, we went to Bilderberg, we covered it. We went to it again last year and the year before that, covering it. And we came out and said, you said, Alex, what's the news from Bilderberg? They're going to pop the subprime mortgage. They're going to artificially implode the economy so they can consolidate the financial infrastructure. And did it come true? I mean, the proof is really in the pudding of the hardcore guests, not just myself, but Daniel Estelin and many others that you've had on, the financial news. I mean, I remember you 4 or 5 years ago talking about the mortgage market and what was happening there and all the liquidity, George. It wasn't just me talking about it. I mean, frankly, to toot George's horn here, I've never been on another national show, and I've been on quite a few, where the host actually even knows what I'm talking about. And George just doesn't know what I'm talking about. He has the details and even tells me quite a few things I didn't know. And so I think that's why Coast to Coast AM just continues to grow with George Noory at the helm. And that's why we all need to spread the word in all the cities where people are out there listening about the broadcast.
Second largest radio show now in the country, thanks to you. 500 stations. And there's one more person we want to topple in terms of total stations, and we were getting closer.
In an average week, how many people are listening now?
Average week, probably, as Alex said, during the entire week, at any given time, 16 million people possibly.
Phenomenal.
It ranges during any given day, 3 to 5 million people popping in and popping out.
Now, I've looked at the demographics. I've looked at the demographics, done my own analysis. That's rated 16 million, but if you look at the overall aggregate and then internet, and you add into all that the YouTube, people taking clips, and then the people passing on CDs, I would say it's closer to 30 million a week.
That's generous, but thank you.
Hi, my name is Josué Sola, and I was born in Monterrey, Mexico, but I live in Austin.
Hola.
Hola. ¿Cómo estás?
That's my word. That's it.
Vaya con Dios.
Well, that's goodbye. Anyways, I want to thank you very much, George, for the show. I enjoy it very much every night. But I have a question for Alex. I saw your TV, like a video where you actually ended up going into this forest where they were doing a sacrifice.
Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, Bohemian Grove, actually. And they had the owl and everything. Well, you showed that there was a person, you just said something about a sacrifice. And it looked like there was a person. You never explained on the show if a person did got sacrificed.
Well, you're probably watching the local TV show where I played a clip. Was it?
Or you got your DVD. Was it on commercial television? TV.
It was on TV.
So it was me at a desk and I played a clip.
You played, no. You were actually showing it. You had a camera on your belt or something.
Okay.
And you're walking around and.
Let me just give it to you in a nutshell. In 1999, Channel 4 from England was doing a documentary about me, and they wrote a book, New York Times bestseller called Them, that I'm in. That, by the way, Jack Black's making a movie out of. That's coming out in about 2 years. He's going to make fun of me in the movie, but hey, I love it.
Spell the name right.
Any publicity is good publicity, exactly. But John Ronson was basically scared to sneak in. They couldn't because of liability. This was major international television, World of Wonder. It also aired here in the U.S. And he said, no, they really do rituals. And I said, I wasn't, in 1999, I wasn't talking about satanic rituals. I was even a lot more mainstream with the Federal Reserve and the New World Order, just basic stuff. And I said, I don't believe that patriot kook stuff to doing rituals. He says, no, we've got somebody inside there. The world elite really go there. Let me show you some newspaper clippings. They worship this big stone owl. They burn an effigy of a child to it. And I said, fine, you fly me out there. You pay to fly my crew out there, because I'd infiltrated some special forces ops. They had seen that in some of my earlier films. I tracked Delta Force, climbed through swamps, been chased by dune buggies in Florida. And so they knew I'd do it. I snuck in, infiltrated with Mike Hansen, and we went in, got the footage, and it was the night when they kick it off, July 15th, for 130 years now. And it got dark, and here they come out in the red and black robes, and they simulated a mix between Babylonian, Greeks and sacrifices, by the way. That's not popularly known, but it's in the history books. And then a mixture of a Faustian play where they're killing Karen. It's a complex, kind of like voodoo ritual, where they're taking all the evil they've done, they believe in karma, and they take all that and put it on the effigy of the child as they kill innocents. And so our, quote, mainline Christian conservative leaders, predominantly Republicans, go there. Mainstream news reports, even the New York Post, Rupert Murdoch's publication reports, they fly in gay porn stars. Women aren't allowed in, and it's just, well, you've heard about Jeff Gannon in the White House.
Did somebody die then?
No, they are, no, it's an effigy of a child, just like Anton LaVey did rituals, and they would do mock sacrifices.
All right, sir, thanks for that question. More with George Noory and Alex Jones coming up from TalkFest live at the Austin Convention Center right after the news on KLBJ.